You're now listening to the Boys in the Booth podcast with your hosts, Harper Cody, Chad Melbourne, and Casey Abrams. New episodes every Monday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Good evening and welcome to episode 113 of the Boys in the Booth podcast. Cody, Abrams, and Melbourne. Guys, how we doing on this Monday evening?
Oh, you know, Harp, just living it up in Collingwood. I got a recommendation for everyone. It's to follow me on Strava so you can see me setting PRs on Blue Mountain every single night, just shredding it up. Anyways, go ahead, Chad. How you doing?
Case, I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to seeing that in a few weeks when we all come to Blue Mountain and we're having a little ski trip. We've got that planned for a few weeks from now. And I'm just looking forward to seeing your skills that you talk so highly about all the time. So
it's going to be pretty tiring when I'm just lapping you guys. So I got to go up and down the chairlift because you're taking so long.
Listen, I don't claim to be a world-class skier. I'm an average skier. I might do a black diamond if I feel like it during the day, but I'm more for the drinks afterwards, the hot tub, and all of that surrounds a ski trip. So that's what I'm in it for.
Right.
But enough about us, guys. We have a very special guest this episode, and if you're watching on YouTube, you already know who it is. And if you read the title, if you're not an idiot, you also know who it is. It's Mr. Andrew Jarvis. Andrew, how are you? Welcome to the Boys in the Booth podcast.
I'm doing well, boys. Thanks for having me. Quite the intro. I don't want to follow Abe's on Strava, that's for sure.
Feel bad about yourself real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I would.
And Harper, I guess I should have asked too, how are you doing? That was something I skipped. Sorry about that.
I'm good. I actually had a whole big intro planned for Jarvo here. And
do it. I'm sorry. I stole the thunder. Do it, please.
No, that's okay. I'm doing good. Just going back to the skiing for a second. I might not even hit the ski hill, boys. I might just find a nearby hot tub and just crush all day.
Just marinate.
While you guys are on the hill. So no, I'll get into my intro though for our special guest here. So a Morrisburg, Ontario native, drafted by the Brockville Braves in the second round of the 2012 CCHL draft, where he played for the Braves for 4 seasons, 2014 to 2018, and was the captain for 2 of those seasons, his last 2 years in Brockville, before moving on to Carleton University. And with his 4th year, his 21-22 season put on pause, on January 11th, he signed with the Allen Americans, the ECHL affiliate of the NHL Seattle Kraken. So please welcome again to the Boys in the Booth podcast, Mr. Andrew Jarvis. Jarvo, we kind of jumped the gun there, but again, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, that was incredible. I like that. That was good.
That was way better than mine. So
both very good.
Awesome. So, Jarvo, just right off the bat, man, like you're settled in Allen, Texas now. Just what was your initial reaction to the news, and how did you find out that you had been signed?
Well, obviously to start, it was unfortunate with the OUA and U Sports how they've handled everything. Like we literally didn't know a thing. We had no idea what was going on when we were going to be able to be on the ice again. A couple years ago at Carleton, I played with Darian Skio, and he's down here in Allen. He's their tough guy. He's a crazy bastard. But anyways, I played with him at Carleton, and he told the coach about me, so I'm pretty sure the coach watched a couple of games or something and got a hold of me, and here I am. Quick turnaround. It was within a couple of days. Like you mentioned, I signed the 9th, and I think talks began the 8th or 9th, or the 11th. So
wow, that's crazy how quick that can happen. I know that, when you talk to guys from the OHL or anyone who works in that league or U Sports, it's the uncertainty that has just been killing everyone, and you don't know what's going to happen, and they don't fill you in at all. So guys got to make some moves or some quick decisions. A lot of them, going out to Europe or going down to play in the East Coast or trying to sign with an AHL team, because you got to do something, or you're just going to be sitting there and getting stale,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what was happening. They literally started to lose the love for the games. Like, what am I doing? What's my purpose right now? Like, sure, you're in school, but hockey and sports, friends, you guys know that. That's what gets you away from all the bullshit in life. So I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to grab by the horns while I had the chance to, because who knows if I would have had this opportunity at the end of the year, right? So
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And Jarvo, you were to keep busy. Were you doing like some construction or carpentry work on the side or something?
Yeah, I was doing bang on roofing. It's unbelievable. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
Honestly, it makes my summers. Yeah, it was first year doing it. I loved it. Loved every bit of it.
That's awesome.
Jarvo, I wanted to ask about the transition from moving and so abruptly and so recently as well, from moving from Ottawa to Texas. What that was like weather, culture, everything, time zones we know are different because you're late to this call.
Oh, man. No, I didn't go to school for geography or time zones, that's for sure. Absolutely freezing. Right when I left was when we got that huge snowfall. It was like 2 feet, freezing. And then I got to Allen and it was plus 12 the day that I landed. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's unbelievable. But the people here are unreal. Like, people here, what like Canada is perceived to be, like very outgoing, very nice. It's like, I find the people here are like so much more outgoing. Like nobody seems like stuck up as like Ottawa in the city. Like, it's brutal. Of course, people are so rude in here. They're unbelievable.
That's why I was going to ask.
Like, it's wild.
It's because COVID doesn't exist down there. That's why, Jarvo.
Right. Man, like one in 25, 30 people have a mask on. It's like, you guys are nuts. Like, you guys are living. Everything seems fine. Everything's normal. No mandates. It's unreal.
Wow.
I was going to ask, I kind of, like, I know some people from Texas and some people that have lived in Texas, and with it being such a massive state, there's such a vast difference in culture in all of the different cities. So I was kind of curious what Allen's like, kind of, being like attached to Dallas, and just the difference between living in Dallas or in rural Texas or Austin, even for that matter, is like a whole different state, the way they react. So it's interesting to see that or hear that they're the friendliest people you've been around in a while. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. So Jarvo, you're settled in now. Obviously, you've played 6 games with the team, but there were some bumps along the way. Tell us what happened with your luggage and that whole situation with the airline and everything that you were on, and you were tweeting about it, just so frustrated. What happened, man?
I just checked in my bag in Syracuse, and that's the last time I saw it. It's just like, I stole a goalie bag, Mel, so that's why I threw everything that I had in the goalie bag, what I took, and I just wanted to do one big bag for this reason, to not have it lost. And here we are, I think 15, 16 days in, American Airlines. But I did go support them, I guess. I went and watched the Stars game against the Habs in Dallas at American Airlines Center.
Oh.
Yeah, I got there. I'm like, no way, the arena is called American Airlines.
Oh my God, that's just meant to be. That's terrible.
Man.
No, I just lost it. It's gone. I contacted them today for the first time in however long, and still no update. So
what? Brand new gear then, top to bottom? I mean, obviously, if you're going to a new team, you're expected to get new pants, gloves, helmets, sticks, whatever. So that doesn't matter. But like skates and shit too? Like you had to do everything?
Yeah, man. I had to. They have some like protective gear, like shin guards, elbow pads, shoulder pads, or whatever. But I had to go buy some new skates, and they can't pay. They can't pay for skates until the player's been with the team for 60 days, I believe. So if I can stick it out, if I'm still here in 60 days, then
wow,
maybe I'll hand in that receipt. But if not, then $12,000 or $1,200 just gone.
Okay, I'm gonna tie this in because it's skate talk, and I absolutely have to. We were talking before. I was like, I got one story I got to bring up, and you knew exactly what it was right away. I should be asking, losing your skates. Are you using your grandfather's skates anymore? Because
my grandfather's right skate is retired. Actually, that leather old CCM boot.
Back in the day, Jarvis was playing for our AA team, and I don't know if you took a puck to the skate or what happened, but it was back before the days that you could just throw some new blades in there. And he shatters a blade, and he's doing the taves, or like when someone's pushing you to the bench to get back off the ice. And we're like, oh shit, we just lost Jarvis for the game. Like, what are we going to do about this? He goes, oh, I've got a skate in my bag. I could use that. I could throw that on. He goes into the dressing room and comes out with his grandfather's skate from 1925. It's all leather and absolutely no ankle to it, like square blades. And he comes out wearing a right skate from 1925 and his original left skate, and finishes the game on that. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen playing hockey, is watching you play with that.
Dude, it's my time, man. I needed to stay on the ice.
Well, when we were playing AA, we had a lot of call-ups, and there's call-ups that you dreaded to see in the change room when you got there, and then there's call-ups like you or Poirier, where we hear that you're playing for the team, and we're like, we got a chance tonight. So watching you blow a blade, I was like, oh God, what are we going to do for the rest of this game? But that was some innovation to pull that skate out and wobble around on that.
Man, I didn't even have the other skate with me. I just had my grandpa's one skate in my bag, and for God knows why. I just had one right skate. Sure enough, my right blade breaks, and I went and laced him up, man. Never looked back. Won the tournament.
Yeah, unbelievable.
There you go.
Yes.
Surely that was some sort of like superstition or something. Like, was there magic in the skate? Like, what was the deal there? Why would you have one 1925 skate?
Not a clue, man. I had both of them are like hanging up in my buddy's garage. They're just my grandpa's old skates. I don't know. They're just hanging up in his garage, and I don't know why I had the one with me. It was in my bag. I don't know.
Well, Chad, you talk about the magic. It's because all of us were absolutely buzzing on the bench when he came out wearing that thing. It's like the morale boost on that team. 20 miles, 20 smiles, and we finished it out because...
Looking back on it now, what is that guy thinking? Like, get off the ice. Get out of here.
That's true. I could not imagine being the other team, not knowing you at all or how you are, and watching you come out with that skate. Oh my God. I would be slashing you in the ankle as quick as I could. No protection at all.
Nothing.
Yeah, and also too, yes, you're a fantastic player. Loved when you got called up to play for the team. But like, imagine being the other team and thinking, who is this guy with no name bar on the back with one fucking 1925 skate? Like, who is this guy?
He's got like Perth colored gloves.
Yeah, I had like white Eagle gloves, a blue helmet. I was just a little douchebag. But another funny story about that year being called up to the Kings with you guys was my mom doesn't know much about hockey or whatever. And I had Carson Pickup's brother's jersey on, so it said Pickup on the back. My mom's like, "Oh, that's weird." Like, they gave the affiliate player a jersey that says a Pickup. Like,
oh. Wow, did not think about that either. So you were a marked man every time you were called up in our league because no one liked Pickup. So.
I didn't belong. I did everything to get me out of there.
That is an awesome story. Jarvis, I want to get into your time in Brockville a little bit. 4 seasons, the last 2 years there, you served as the captain. Just what did the captaincy mean to you? Your head coach at the time being Jesse Winchester. You guys had a lot of success. How do you reflect back on your time in Brockville with the Braves and being the captain for your final 2 seasons here in Beeville?
Yeah, it was the highlight of my career. Brockville's literally like home for me now. Like, I love the people there. Just like going to school there, meeting everybody. Like, it was so fun to be the captain, I guess, like with how many other captains that were there, with like what junior hockey means to Brockville people. Like, I don't know, it was a big deal for me at the time. And I don't know, it's led me to where I am now, put me through to Carleton. So without Brockville, without the school there, the team, like my buddies there, all you guys, like who knows where I would have went after that. But I'm just really glad that everything happened in Brockville. And yeah, it was incredible the whole time.
Yeah, it's thinking back to growing up in Brockville, that's kind of what we did on like a Friday night or Friday night, home night, is you went down to the Memorial Center and you watched the Braves play. And it was just like such a big deal for us growing up. And then like seeing you get the captaincy is like, little hometown pride moment there. Like it's definitely awesome to see. So we were thrilled to see that. And I guess kind of to work into how you got to the Braves, like, I know you're knowing you're just going to give the most humble answer there is here, but I was kind of wondering when you knew you were good at hockey, knew you were sick at hockey, because talking about you, it's like one of my favorite stories of climbing the ladder. Like multiple years in a row, kind of playing in Mooresburg, like either B rep or B house. And then all of a sudden, you call up for our AA team, and then you're on AAA next year, and then you're playing junior B, and then you're junior A for a few years, and then U Sports, and now ECHL. It's like you have absolutely climbed the ladder in sports around here. So I was kind of wondering, like, when did you kind of feel like you had a chance? Was it that second year in Brockville?
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Actually, that meant a lot. That was sweet. Thank you. Yeah, it was my second year in Brockville. Before that, like playing junior B for my hometown, like fun, whatever. Ended up getting in a couple junior A games when I was 16, whatever. 17, didn't belong. Like I was there, did my job, wasn't good at all. And I don't know, 18, it just clicked. Like I did nothing different. The points came from like Neil Robinson, Liam Folks, Billings, like all the incredible players on our team. So like, but that is when I kind of hit my stride and kind of knew like, okay, well maybe I can do something with hockey, get an education out of it or something. Mm-hmm. And that year was definitely where I just kind of hit my stride and never really looked back. And now I'm here. So thankful for it.
Yeah. I thought for sure when you asked the question, Case, like when did it kind of click for you that, you knew that you were good at hockey and could do something? I thought, and this was what I would have said, well, maybe the year I had like 72 points in 14 games in B rep, like that would be a clue, thinking like, why am I, I should be playing AAA here with these chumps around me. But obviously we know the type of guy you are. The humbleness shows through. So that's the answer we expected there. And looking at your stats too, like the second year, that really sticks out. So Case could pick up on that, and it just makes sense. Like you were tearing it up in that second year, and then obviously after that as well. But it seems like you're one of these players who just gets better with age, and clearly now playing in the ECHL, like that is a fantastic achievement in itself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and what another thing that sticks out to me too is you did it all playing a tough position and being a smaller puck-moving defenseman. And we're really starting to see a lot of those kinds of guys get to the next level. Like a guy that sticks out for me right now is Scott Perunovich with the St. Louis Blues. So, Jarvo, like, are there defensemen out there that you've kind of looked at growing up and that, you kind of want to model your game after and what, like watch YouTube clips on or whoever? I'm just curious about that.
Not really, but you guys are probably going to laugh, but like I used to love watching like Mike Weaver and Francis Bouillon, like those two little tiny Habs D-men. I just thought they were hilarious, like did their job or whatever, and I love them. But no, it's smaller D-men. If you can skate and you can think the game, that's what you need. Like you don't need any more big dummies that can't skate and you think you're going to develop them. You're not. If you don't have hockey sense, you're just not going to be a good hockey player. Like, but yeah, no, there's definitely a lot more smaller defensemen coming up because they can think the game. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a new trend for sure.
So you would say you're a bigger fan of Romanov than say Sherratt, if we're talking now Habs defenseman?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Even though Sherratt like plays those big minutes, was unreal in the playoffs. Like I love Romanov. Like I wish he would fight a little bit more when people come after him. Like he kind of shies away, but he does his job out there. He hits hard, man. He hits like a truck.
Oh, you beat me to it, Jarbo. Like that guy is pounding other guys this season. Wow. It is. I think, is he not the league leader in hits for defensemen right now?
He could be up there. And a lot of them are like heavy hits too.
Yeah.
He lines people up, little Russian bastard. Man.
Oh yeah.
You love to see it, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about U Sports as well. I know we've talked a bit about the East Coast, and we'll get back to that because I want to talk about what the jungle is like for you so far. But first, I want you to talk about U Sports. What was that experience like at Carleton? Just did you play with some talented players? What was the league like? Because I know U Sports, I think compared to say in NCAA gets sort of a bad rap, but I know it's fantastic hockey. So maybe just talk a bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's right there with NCAA, if not better than a couple leagues in the NCAA. Nothing against them. Like, they're all incredible hockey players, and they're a little bit younger too, so that helps them. But U Sports is so good, man. Like, no one has any respect for anybody. Like, Ryerson's unreal. Like, Shankar's obviously unreal. There's so many good players in the league, and at Carleton, like, I played with probably already 10 pros in like the 4 years, and there's going to be more coming out of them. And just the whole league just produces good pro hockey players. And if they don't want to play pro or play hockey anymore, they have a good education. It's becoming a more popular route these days. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it right there, Jarvo. You kind of get the best of both worlds. Like, you get that really good education, and you get to play really high quality hockey too. And a lot of success stories coming out of U Sports and CIS, the former name for it. But a guy that comes to mind is Michael Latta, who played at Ryerson, and then goes and is part of a Stanley Cup winning team in Washington in 2018, and so maybe didn't get a lot of minutes, but still, like, to be a part of that organization, that cup winning team, just must have been incredible. So no, it is a fantastic hockey, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's funny.
Sorry, go ahead, Age.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, that's the same thing Zach said. Shankar, when he was on, he was like, it's as good or sometimes better than the NCAA.
Yeah, for sure. I was just going to say, like, I didn't even know that Lotta guy played at Ryerson. I had no clue. I know he is, but, like, that's a part of the problem. Like, no one talks about Canadian university hockey. Like, no one knows anything about it. Like, there's 150 fans at a game compared to a Braves game where there's 500 or something. Like, you'd think it would be the other way around, but it's like, it's crazy. No one recognizes anything, but it's starting to be recognized. That's for sure. People are starting to talk about it, and like you said, Harp starting to get traction, and people are starting to be pipelined up to the big leagues. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jarvo, like, obviously these past couple years have been frustrating for everyone in the game, no matter what league you're in. And so obviously things worked out for you. You got an ECHL deal, but just like, your heart must just ache for some of the older guys who won't get a chance anywhere else.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's every league. Like, junior B players, their last year, they want to have fun. They want to be on a good winning team. Like, they can't. You literally can't go to the rink and practice with your buddies and then go battle with them in a game. Like, it's brutal. Any league, like you said, any age, my heart does ache for them. It sucks. Like, it's brutal. It doesn't make sense, in all honesty. But here we are, right? And decisions have to be made. So,
yeah.
You think about where would you be right now if during your AAA year, or like calling up with us, like when we were that age. I think about my cousins that age. Like, if we were that age and we weren't playing hockey because of COVID, it's like that would have changed the course of like everything. Like, would you have ended up going to Carleton? Would you be playing for the Braves? It's like it's amazing to think about how little time it takes to make such an impact to young kids' hockey in their future for it. So
yeah, that's crazy. Like, being that age, like, I wouldn't have known you guys if this happened. Like, you meet so many people, you open new doors. Like, it's just like they're missing out on so much, and it's not their fault. Like, they've followed all guidelines, they've done everything, and your cousins still get like put down for it. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think a guy like Shane Wright is a prime example of someone who's taken a hit from having a year off. That's obviously at the very high end of guys who are dealing with this, but of course everyone, and even throughout minor hockey, is dealing with it as well. But I wanted to switch gears now and talk about the East Coast League. Now that you're playing there, you've been there for a little while now. You've gotten a taste. What was your, first impression of the league, and just like, how are you fitting in? And just maybe give me your general vibe of the league right now, because it's called the Jungle for a reason. So I want to hear about that.
Yeah, no, it's another league with not much respect for one another, that's for sure. But it's fast, man. Like, everyone's like older, has so many years under their belt, and like they're so smart. Like they find a little passing lane underneath your stick and they're going to nail it. They're going to send it back door. Like it's not easy, but it's been a challenge, but I think I'm starting to fit in. I get more comfortable every game. The coaches seem to be playing me a little bit more than I anticipated they would. We have some guys out, so maybe that's why, but it's nice to be out there and play for these guys, and it's been unreal, man. It's quick hockey.
No, that's
how long
awesome.
did it take for you to drop the gloves? I'm pretty sure I saw 5 beside your name in the penalty minutes. So unless you're sticking some guy in the nuts, I think that's a fight.
Wasn't doing that. No, I was fighting. Yeah, it was my third game against Dylan Sadway. He was a really good player in the OHL. He's a really good player, strong guy. He hit me really hard with the right. Really hard.
Is that a rite of passage on the team? Like you had to do that as fast as you could to kind of get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, on it's an unwritten rule kind of for a guy that's not skilled, like a guy that just comes in and needs to do a job. I think the guy asked me to go and I was like, you know what? Why not? See what I can do. Sure enough, and then the fourth game I got into one as well. So 2 fights, 6 games.
Yeah, there's a 10 there now.
You've got the points aren't bad through 6 games either. You've got 2 apples, and so fitting in and contributing a little bit on the score sheet as well. Last game, obviously not the result that you guys wanted against the Utah Grizzlies. Just take us through the 4-3 loss against Utah last night.
Well, we were down 0-2 in the 3-game series, so we had to have a big push, and I thought we did. And I thought we were the better team Sunday. We were not the better team Friday or Saturday. They have a really good team. Like their defensemen are so active. Like they're like switching everything up. They're crossing people up. They're a really good team. But no, last night we came out really hard. It was a really good game. We had our chances. A couple 2-on-1s. Their goalie made some incredible stops and ended up just coming up short, even though we had some pressure on the third. But that's how hockey goes.
Yeah. That blew my mind when Harper said that you were in Utah yesterday. It's like that's a 21 and a half hour drive to get home. It's like, and he's coming on the pod for us. So definitely respect that. And that's kind of something I want to talk about with the ECHL. And you've kind of alluded to it, saying that it's a league where there's not a lot of respect for each other. Well, the ECHL has something that I wish the NHL had more of. We saw a little bit of it in the last year, but I want to see more, and that's series, because you guys got to travel by bus to get out to these teams, and when you're there, you got to pack in a few games in a row. So a few games in a row against a team, like I know you played Newfoundland 4 times in the next little spree here. That just builds so much hate in my mind. Like I would absolutely want to murder the other team if I played them 4 times in a row. So that's got to be something to why there's so much hate and why it's called the jungle, right? Like, tell me about like these road trips and then having to play a team that many times in a row.
Man, it's nuts. The travel is crazy. We're actually lucky we get to fly, except for Tulsa. We busted Tulsa, so we flew to Utah, flew back.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have a big division, though. We cover a lot of ground. And the other divisions, they all bus, which sucks. But 3-3s, like last weekend I had one, this weekend I have one. That's 6 games in like 12 days. I played 7 games in the past 2 years. Like I'm so beat up right now. My body hurts. It's not fun, but when you're out there, it's fun. No, teams hate each other. A lot of these guys are on AHL contracts, so they're fighting to get back up in the AHL, and like they're coming hard. They're all good players, heavy boys. Like just they're all pros, right? There's no really like big flashy players. They're making passes, they're making plays, supporting the puck. Like they're pro players. It's that much harder for sure. Yeah.
Is there any specific team that you've kind of heard the guys talk about as like the team to hate in your division or even in the league?
Honest to God, not really anything yet. I've only played like 3 teams so far. But there is a lot of talk about like other teams, tough guys and stuff like that. There's a lot of that talk in this league about like, oh shit, we got to play this guy. Like, let's get under his skin or let's not get under his skin, either or.
Right.
Any same question, but instead of talking about tough guys or tough teams to play, any like stars to look out for that you've heard of? Like, who are some of the best players in the league that you know off the top of your head?
That I know off the top of my head is actually like our captain. He's 35 years old. He's like 3rd in the league in scoring right now. He had like 3 years back to back to back over 100 points in this league. He's going to be a Hall of Famer in this league. Went overseas, like led the league, his respective team in the DEL, the top league in Germany. Like he's an incredible player. So you have like those type of smart guys. Then there's like the little Boucher kid on Utah that we just played. Like Fisheries drafted, signed to Colorado, just so skilled. Like just looks so much better than a lot of us out there. And you can tell that like he doesn't belong. You know, he should be up a league. But all in all, there's not much discrepancy, but there's a lot of top end skill here that should not be in this league. But unfortunately, with COVID and everything right now, people going up and down, that's where they are. And our team's got a couple of them for sure.
Yeah. When I think about the ECHL and like how the NHL kind of uses it the most, I think about young goaltenders. It seems like a lot of the time they give a young goaltender a little stint in the ECHL to get some games under his belt. So it's probably going to be some tough netminders you're going to see in the future here. Because like I think about Mackenzie Blackwood with the Devils, that's my team. They sent him down multiple times to try to get, you know, a little confidence and some games, and it worked for him. So you see that happening a lot.
There's a lot of good goalies. Like just think about it. Like there's 32 teams in the NHL. That's 64 goalies, I think. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of room for goalies, right? So like if you're playing in the East Coast League or AHL or NHL, like you're a damn good goalie. Like it's not an easy position to succeed in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, as you come up to Newfoundland, you're going to be playing against Ian Scott, who is affiliated with the Maple Leafs, like played in the American League last year. He's been out with injury, but he just got loaned to the Growlers like a couple days ago. So that's a really good goalie to play against in your coming games here.
Traffic. I'll have to get a shot or two through, that's for sure.
I also think of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen Harp, who had some time there in the East Coast, and now he's playing in the NHL. So there you go.
Yeah. And Jarvo, like I'm sure you're familiar with Michael Hauser and his story. Like second year in a row coming up, and he's looked great so far for the Sabres.
Yeah, it was a good story last year. Really good, and he stood on his head. He's been unreal. Our goalie, Antoine Bibeau, he just got called up to Seattle. Just great. He was in our locker room, and he's like, "Oh boys, that was Seattle. Gotta go."
That was where I was going with this. So I love that you brought that up.
Let's see your bibs.
Former Leaf Bibeau. There you go.
Unreal, man.
Yeah.
So many goalies here are so good. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is awesome. Jarvo, I wanted to bring up something that it sucks to talk about, and this is an incident that happened over the weekend. I'm sure that you're familiar with it, but I wanted to get your reaction to it because obviously it happened in the league that you're now playing in, and so just the incident between Jacob Panetta and Jordan Subban over the weekend. Just your initial reaction and just like how this is still happening. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not a good sight for anybody. Obviously we all stand with Jordan Subban and all people of color, right? And like it's supposed to be an inclusive game. Unfortunately, it's not right now. It's flat out not, obviously. It's unfortunate that families have to go through that. However, listening to Panetta's story that he released, like I'm going to listen to it and believe that he didn't have those intentions, but the league's doing an investigation on it, right? So I see both sides, and right now I feel for all people of color, and like I'm sorry for it too. Like I hate that they have to go through this. But you know what? At least coming to the attention of people, and we're talking about it way more than we would have a couple of years ago. So that's a positive step, right? So.
Yeah. Well said, man.
Hockey's so close to all of us that it's like I want every single human being to have the opportunity to play hockey and to experience what I went through and meet all their friends and everything that I've gotten from hockey. And it is great to see that things are coming to light and getting brought up way more and being recognized. But I gotta say it's tough that it needs to get to PK Subban level of fame to be brought out in the media. Who would this be brought up as much as it is if PK didn't say something? So it's tough that it takes stardom to be brought up. But it's good to see the reaction from the community and from everyone in hockey. So yeah.
Case, that's a good point, because that's how I saw it. I follow PK Subban. I saw it on his page, and obviously it was Jordan. That's why. If it happened to another player in the league, do you think we're hearing about it this quickly or this massively in the media? Maybe, but odds are probably not. So it is. It's good that PK used his platform to share it as well. A few things I will say. I think the most, the worst part about this whole thing was in the video where the person was filming, you could hear some people in the crowd chanting racial slurs at the player. And so that's, like, for me, the worst thing. But also, you're right. The player who allegedly made this gesture did come out with a video, and he said, it was more of a tough guy action that he was doing, similar to a Tom Wilson. And so we don't really know what his intentions were, right? And you'd like to give the benefit of the doubt. And so the league will investigate, and we'll see what comes out of that. But for me, the thing that there's no investigation about, and the thing that you can prove without a shadow of the doubt is the fans in the stands who were chanting racial slurs. To me, that was beyond disgusting, and I can't believe that is still happening.
Yeah,
it's nuts. It's too bad. You don't want those people in the stands. You don't want to be anywhere near those people. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's too bad.
Yeah. And you mentioned too, just to wrap up this topic, you mentioned that hockey is something that should be for everyone, and that's the NHL slogan, hockey is for everyone. Well, you guys know Akeem Aliu. He came out yesterday and said the slogan should be changed from hockey is for everyone, which it clearly isn't at this point, to hockey should be for everyone, because we're not there yet. And so that was something he said. Totally agree. And just to wrap up this whole talk, it's depressing, but it's still happening. So we have to give it some lip service for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for giving your thoughts on that whole situation, Jarvo. Appreciate it. And again, it's not easy to talk about. It sucks, but good to bring it up on the pod for sure. One more for me, just your initial conversation with management, the coach, whatever. Was there anything in there about a message being like, we're really looking forward to having you, and if you come down here and play really well, who knows? You could be looking at possibly going up to the Charlotte Checkers, of course, the AHL affiliate of Seattle. Was there any talk about that, or just the excitement around that possibility? I wondered about that at all.
No, there wasn't any talk about being called up or anything like that. We have a really, really strong D-core. And those guys will be going up way before I would, deservingly. There wasn't talk about it, no, but it was pretty cool to see the emails, get the contracts with Charlotte's logo on it, with Seattle's logo on it. It's it's a pretty cool feeling to have, to be affiliated with an organization like that. And when I was talking to Steve Martinson, the coach and GM, great guy, he's very hard nosed, old school guy. He really gets it. He just said, come do your thing. We're glad to have you, and we'll see you in Allen. And sure enough, got down here, no equipment. He gave me some, and I've been on there. So.
Perfect. And, Jarvo, not just any NHL organization that you're affiliated with, right? The 32nd franchise in the NHL in their first season. And you mentioned how special it is. It's got to feel a little extra special knowing that, this team is making history in its first season, and in a way, you're kind of a part of that.
Yeah, it is cool. I never really thought of it that way, but no, it's really cool. I've been a Seattle Kraken fan my whole life, so
same here.
So cool. yeah. Not too hot with the Leafs right now. They look good, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna make a big run.
We'll see what they do in the playoffs. That's the main thing. But I'm just picturing the coach and GM on your arrival, and you're empty-handed, and he's like, "Where's your gear?" And you're like, "Man, great first impression."
Mentioning Charlotte, God, I hope one day you get a chance to do some training with Connor Carrick, because that guy looks like an absolute football player. I've never seen a hockey player built like he is. I was like, God, Harp just mentioned Charlotte. I was like, well, man, you got to get training with him so you can be a freaking monster. Jeez.
Yeah, he's wild. I had the chance to play with his brother Blake in Brockville, and even he's like a little bulldog too. They're just both jacked little maniacs. Like they're strong.
Yeah.
So I follow Connor on all Instagram, Twitter. He's got incredible stuff. He's always sharing what he's doing and what he stands for and stuff. He's really cool to follow. If you guys don't, you should.
Yeah, I do follow him. Like when he played for the Devils is when I first started following him. And now I still follow him because his Instagram's pretty interesting. And he's a player that I full on think will be a coach in the NHL someday because he is very intelligent, both about hockey and then broader topics. He's a very intelligent guy. So interested to see where he can go with that.
Bit of a coffee snob, I heard, though.
Oh, yeah. Coffee and grass-fed beef.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Connor Carrick has his own podcast, too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Jarvo, what I was going to say, we're talking about, going between the ECHL and the AHL. If you stick it out for a couple years, I think you should wait and then, really make your push in the coming years when you can go out to Coachella Valley. And start playing out there. That'd be a nice place to play, wouldn't it?
That'd be wild. That would be absolutely crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Probably better than Charlotte.
Yeah, probably for my body. Yeah.
Sure. Jarvo, I know you're just switching gears a little bit. I know you're a big Montreal Canadiens fan, and just wanted to get your thoughts on the new GM and what you think about that. What's his name again? I'm drawing a blank here. Kent Hughes. Sorry,
Kent Hughes. Yeah. Well, there's Jeff Gorton who's going to be calling the shots, but Kent Hughes is the guy.
But just what do you think about that, Jarvo? Do you think it's going to be a good fit, and just how do you feel about the direction of the team moving forward?
Well, first, I'm glad they're not just francophones. That's just the dumbest thing in all sports that their fan base gets pissed off about. It's ridiculous to me. So I'm glad that there's a couple English guys in there just to prove everybody wrong. But I don't know. Bergevin did a really good job, I thought. Sure, he made some bad trades, but what GM hasn't? It's impossible to draft and be a GM. No one's gonna be perfect. People are always gonna make bad picks or make bad trades. So I'm sure that's gonna be the case with the two new guys, and hopefully they make more better decisions than worse. But I don't know. I don't like where the Habs are. That's for sure. Brutal, man.
Yeah, I have a feeling their first pick is not going to be a hard decision when it's number one overall.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be drafting number 8 or something when we're supposed to be picking 1. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I could see that.
You know what, though?
Just don't pick number 3 because that hasn't gone well for the Habs.
No, that's right. And you know what, though, Jarvo? Tough season, I know, but if you're gonna be bad, this is kind of the year to do it. You have a chance to get in the top pick. The draft is in Montreal this year, and also let's not forget they have that second first round pick. Yeah. And Kent Hughes coming in as the GM. His son Jack at Northeastern could very well be there for them. So anyway, could be a nice night at the draft table for Montreal at the Bell Center.
We hope so. I hope so anyway.
Of course. Why is there a connection? Where did you pull that connection out of your ass? Just every single time. Oh my God.
Need a chalkboard for that one, Mark. Figure out what's going on. That was good. I wanted to ask Jarvo, do you watch any games? I know you're a big Habs fan. That's what we're talking about. Do you watch any games now that you're playing?
I watch hockey every night.
Really?
Yeah, I watch a lot of games. I'm a hockey nerd. Big stats guy, too. I'm on Elite Prospects, Hockey DB all the time, looking at people. Big nerd about that stuff.
I'll tell you that your Elite Prospects, I mean, I'm already blowing it up, but it's probably going to get 364 more views in the next year just from me alone. I'm going to be watching it like a hawk.
Yeah. That's awesome, boys. I don't really have anything else left. What about you guys? Any last questions or thoughts for Jarvo here?
I don't think I have any more questions. Just want to wish you the best of luck, and hope that one day I can be using you on NHL 22 or 3 or 4 or whenever it comes. And I'm definitely going to jack your potential up to a franchise player, but
That's nice. That's nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah, nothing for me. Again, just to reiterate what Casey said, good luck with everything, man. I hope you have a great season. I hope you're able to continue to play games and, this shit doesn't get shut down again. And, all the best. But the thing is, you're in Texas, so I think you're probably good. But, it'd be more so for like Newfoundland or whatever. But
Jarbo, thanks again, man, and best of luck Wednesday night back on home ice against the Rapid City Rush. So all the best, man, and thanks so much for taking the time to come on the pod tonight. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. That was cool. I loved it. Good seeing you guys too. Nice catching up, chatting hockey. It's perfect. Monday night.
It's definitely been a while.
Perfect, yeah.
Good times.
All right, boys.
Cheers, man.
Thanks a lot. Take care, boys.
Yeah, take care.
This has been another episode of Boys in the Booth with Harper Cody, Chad Melbourne, and Casey Abrams. New episodes every Monday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Connect with the Boys in the Booth on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Boys in the Booth. Visit boysinthebooth.com for show details, and don't forget, you can become a patron of the podcast for just $1 a month at www.patreon.com/boysinthebooth.